No, that's the wrong way.
Sorry, there you go.
That's it. A bit closer.
I like it when this is in. There it is. Yeah, I think that looks cool in the corner there.
Does it?
Yep.
Gonna be honest, don't really know what I'm doing.
He was often a player that I would buy on Football Manager.
It's already a terrible reason.
From Jon Snow, Matt puts Dan's wardrobe to shame.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Look at him, the cat that got the cream.
Ian Taylor said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life.
My theory on referees is you give them the nicest changing room in the stadium.
This is the most bizarre thing I've ever
Hear me out, hear me out.
I cannot believe Gabriel Bondahor's
That's crazy,
That's
isn't
terrible. Yeah, we may well have lost listeners early doors again with a long-winded intro. Go, shoot. Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast. As you can see, on my right is not Chris Dolan this week. Tom Julian makes a triumphant return in desperate need of a haircut, I must say. To be fair, I could do with one as well, but not quite to the severity that you need one. But good to have you back. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. I woke up this morning and I was like, I know my hair's going to be a mess, but it was 6:15 and I wasn't reaching for the wax.
No, early podcast again, so literally anything could happen.
Do you know what? I had a little moment. It's nice to be back, first of all. Nice to be back in the booth with you. You and Dolan. I didn't see the first one, but I saw the last one. Did a very good job. Although you said that I never ask you like how you are. I think I did. How are you?
I'm good. Well, it's very early time, as you know. It's not the best time to do a podcast, but obviously the fact that Villa won makes it a bit of an easier pill to swallow.
Before we get into the Villa, I had a bit of a...
Because it would be silly to start with Villa in the podcast.
I had a moment where I came in today and I was just thinking about it. And when I'm in a suit, people are a lot nicer to you because they think there's potential that you might be famous.
I don't think they ever think that.
Not me necessarily, but I guess if you're looking smarter, then there's a chance that you're going on screen. Whereas, like, if you're wearing casual jeans,
there's no chance of you being mistaken for famous today.
Casual jeans and a Villa hat, then
the old Bronx hat. That is.
I love this hat. Yeah, I've had this since I was maybe 12.
We should do a Villa View Bronx hat. I like the word Bronx hat, even though it's not one. It's one word. It's two. I like Bronx. I mean, you probably don't remember because you don't live in Birmingham.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
When Tom Ross used to give away a hat like that to good callers on 11:52.
Oh right, yeah.
We could do a Villa View Bronx hat.
What, a giveaway for us?
I don't know.
We'd have to invest.
Or we could sell.
Yeah, that's true. That's better. If you call in, we can sell you a mug.
Let us know if you would be interested in the Villa View Bronx hat. It's just occurred to me with Tom's trampy hat that we could sell.
That's actually not that far off.
No, that's from at least 2000.
Yeah,
I would suggest.
Slightly later, I reckon. 2001, 2002.
Oh, sorry, I was a year out.
Well, you're very good at deal. But yeah, anyway, I was like, but then why would you, as a sales provider or whatever, why would you be nicer to somebody in a suit? It's like, I'm not going to give you anything more if I'm famous than if I'm not famous. If anything, I'm more humble.
I think you're a bit hung up on this famous thing because a lot of people wear suits in London.
Well, yeah, okay, but but it's interesting, the perception, isn't it? I think, like, why can't you be nice to me even though I'm wearing casual clothes?
I mean, I'd say that's a rung below casual, to be honest.
Homeless clothes.
The vagabond look.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thank you. Always good to be back. Let's get on to Villa, shall we?
Yeah.
Derby 0, Villa 3. Nobody saw that coming.
I thought we'd win. I predicted it. I mean, so I know my predictions at the start in the podcast. I didn't predict us to win. In the preview, I changed. Exactly.
You change it all so you can be right on some platform.
Yeah, well, yeah. I gave myself a good chance, and I just fancied us for some reason. I just had a feeling it would all click. Yeah. And it evidently did.
Yeah,
which is nice to see.
Yeah, brilliant performance. Obviously went in at 0-0 at half time, but that wasn't the whole story there. We were creating chances. We looked lively. Codger, Abraham both had headed chances which went over the bar first. Obviously they had chances as well, but Neelan made a couple of saves, which is nice.
He just makes saves.
I mean, I was listening to the podcast last week and Dolan has a bee in his bonnet.
It's a shame he's not here for that segment, just getting to come in to talk about the goalkeeper.
I can understand his frustration because I have felt the same frustration, as have you, as have Villa fans throughout the world, but Dolan has no patience with Neelan. I mean, we know this from Dolan's Twitter anyway, doesn't he? He's immediately on with a one-word tweet like disgrace.
He likes a clean sheet tweet at the end of the games at the moment.
He's very, very much like minimal characters used, even though Twitter's expanded to allow it.
No use to him.
Yeah.
No. He's not. It's one of those ones. Hopefully he'll come good and Dolan will have to swallow humble pie, like I did with Sam Johnston the 2 seasons ago. I mean, he did very well.
He did.
Maybe the new goalkeeping coach has made a difference. I don't know how. Yeah, a few people said the Neil Cutler effect, and then I did think
Surely not.
He's not teaching him how to make saves from shots from range. He might be teaching him stuff about one-on-ones that he wasn't doing before, possibly. But he's highly rated, and he's supposed to be very good at what he does now, Cutler.
Yeah, I don't want to spend all time talking about the negatives, but I feel like the Neeland and Johnston comparison is not quite right. Johnston was obviously a young keeper, still learning a lot, and had very little first-team experience. Neeland has a lot of first-team experience, albeit in the lower end.
It's probably the biggest team he's played for, I would suggest.
But then it still doesn't. That doesn't lend itself to being able to grow into that. Like he's in the midst of his career. He's not at the start. So
he's an international, isn't he?
But I don't feel like. And I massively hope I'm wrong on this, but I don't feel like he's going to have the progression growth that Johnston did because he's already that far along in his career.
Yeah, but he can get better from the level he's been at.
I should hope so.
And I think he's going to.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Well, and as we've always said, it's confidence in your back four, isn't it? And with John Terry there and Dean Smith, they're creating this actual unit at the back, which is quite nice, and that must breed confidence and I'm certainly willing to give Neeland the benefit of the doubt, because I think, to be fair, I don't always give you credit, but you did say, and a lot of Villa fans have said, that the importance of the back four is critical to the keeper, and he's been fully nervous, so I'm kind of trying to give him a clean slate as much as I can, and let's see how it goes moving forward.
Well, there's an improvement there because we've kept 3 clean sheets in 5 games.
Yep.
Under Smith, 3 clean sheets in 5 games was unthinkable.
Yep.
A few months ago, so there's definitely progress being made, and it's helped by people playing in their natural positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And the midfield 3, which I mean, it's just, this is something that you and I have talked about for a long time, and I don't want to get into the Hurahan stick again because it always happens, but the midfield 3 of Jack Grealish, John McGinn and Conor Hurahan is dynamic, is exciting, and it's what we want to see.
But it's a great midfield.
Yeah.
They've all got great ability on the ball. Jack's obviously the one that can carry the ball a little bit more. They've all got good engines. They're all capable of scoring goals. There's a couple of goals for McGinn now. Hurahan obviously has a great record goal-wise last season. It's the area we want Jack to improve in, and I think he will under Smith. So it's like we went to Derby and we didn't sit back, did we? We went there and we played football, and that's the best thing to do. Be positive, and you'll have more of the ball. You'll do better with the ball, and we've gone there and we've won 3-0, and that midfield will be a massive part of why we've won 3-0.
While you're talking about goals, Picnic asks, from this moment on, who's going to score more goals out of those 3? Conor, Jack or John?
If they all play the same amount of games, you'd have to say Conor.
Yeah.
Even though he's playing in the deep role, I just think he got into double figures last season. How many is he got, including cups now? I think he might be on 3, possibly. This season he scored in the League Cup. He scored that 2 free kicks he scored now as well. He's got a wonderful dead ball delivery, whether it be crossing or whether it be shooting. His dead ball delivery is arguably the best in the Championship. The movement on that free kick on Saturday to finish the game, and he deserves to come into the side and do well, because I know that he works hard in training, and he loves being at Villa, and he works hard. So
and
good.
I think. Again, this is so weird as a Villa fan, but I feel like I'm blowing smoke up Dean Smith's derriere a little bit, but it's all deserved. You know, Hurahan was out of the team when under Bruce at the start for no real reason.
I mean, Smith didn't play him in his first couple of games.
This is what I mean, though.
He did play in the second game.
So Smith kind of comes in, inherits this team, gives Bruce a bit of credit and the respect, and kind of continues that team, assesses it, and has gone, Hurahan is a quality player, let's put him back in. I mean, we're still only a few games into Smith's reign, but that assessment seems to be, I mean, it seemed to be obvious to you and I, and some Villa fans disagree that Hurahan shouldn't be in there, but Smith's gone, right, that needs to change, that's an easy change, and popped him straight in.
We said that, I can't remember, I think you said as well, when Smith first came in, that he was the logical one for that deep line midfield role. It's probably not his favourite role. He'd probably rather have a bit of freedom to bomb forward and get into the box like McGinn did. And obviously with Jack's never going to play as the deep line midfielder, because that'd be a complete waste of his dribbling, so it's probably not his favourite position, but if it gets him in the team and he can adapt and learn this new role, and to be fair, he's come in that role. We've scored 5 goals and we've kept 2 clean sheets against Bolton, who we should beat, and a Derby team that probably not many neutrals or even maybe some Villa fans wouldn't have given us much chance of going there. They certainly wouldn't have given us much chance of going there and winning 3-0.
I definitely predicted a loss, I think, on the
I did as well originally, until I changed my mind.
The Meatball Man, I like that as a Twitter handle.
McGinn's nickname, isn't it? The Meatball Man, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
You always deliver the knowledge. I love it. I learn so much.
What I'm here for.
Is this our new set midfield 3 now? And how does Burke fit into that?
He'll play games.
Yeah.
The intensity that Smith plays his football at some point when there's a period of games like we had at the start when Smith came in, there'll be rotation because you need fresh legs for certain games. What I will say is that under Bruce, Hourihane would never have played as the deep-lying midfielder because it would have been perceived as being not safe enough. So fair play to Smith for coming in and taking a risk, and it's worked so far. I find it difficult to see where Whelan and Jednak come into that midfield now, because I think that those 4 that we've mentioned are the fighting for 3 places. Whelan might make the odd sub appearance, but Jednak is in there as backup centre back at the moment. I think in January he's even going to struggle to be that.
Yeah, they're both injury cover, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah.
And Jednak kind of lends himself a little bit more because he can play centre back.
I mean, he hasn't played a minute yet under Smith, Jednak.
Yeah.
So it's completely a complete shift, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jednak, like we said about Bruce having his favourites, Jednak and Whelan were 2 of those absolute favourites. I mean, he even played them together at one point last season against Brentford, which was asking for trouble against their dynamism.
Against Smith, yeah.
But it's good to see, because I just think it makes the whole team better when you've got a midfield that can all pass the ball. And then someone like Balassi comes on as well and absolutely terrorised Derby.
Yeah.
When he came on, we've just got absolute weapons now. Like Abraham missed a few chances, but another goal for him. Hopefully, eventually, Codger will start hitting the back of the net. Adoma on the other flank's capable of goals. So there's goal even from your deep lying midfielder. There's a goal threat. Even Chester, to be fair, scored 3 goals as well from centre back.
This is what I've always said, and I've always wanted our defensive players to chip in with more goals, and if we can see more from Chester, that's absolutely brilliant. You touched on a couple of points there that Villaview listeners and watchers have also brought in, so I want to go back to those, namely the wingers to start with. There was a bit of a shift in tempo again when Balassi came on for Codger. A few people asking, is that the kind of movement that Smith's going for? He wants natural wingers to stretch the play, get wider, create more space in the middle for this 3 that's moving all around. Is that where we're kind of slowly introducing Balassi? Are we going to see him more and more, do you think? I mean, and even Elmo to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, Elmo came on, didn't he? Taylor had an injury. Apparently he had a good game and made a difference to us going forward. That's the thing. Elmo's another player that got picked every week. Yeah. Suddenly he finds himself out of the team. There's kind of more motivation when he is in the team now to try and keep his place, because he's played pretty much every week since he's been signed by Villa, and now he finds himself out of the team. That's an unusual situation for him. I always think on the wings that you need, on one side at the very least, you need a winger who's playing on his natural side. I always think it's no good having 2 cutting in, and I think although we were loving it last season, I think at times Snodgrass on one wing and Adoma on the other both wanted to cut in, especially when we had Hutton at left back. I think that hindered us a little bit. Do you get what I mean? Because it kind of worked on Snodgrass's side because you had Elmer, who was bomb on, but on the left hand side you had Adoma cutting in and Hutton cutting in, so you're kind of isolating one side of the pitch. So Balassi came on and played left, which makes sense. He's a very tricky player. He can cut in, to be fair, he can go either way. Balassi, I think he's probably played himself into the team against Birmingham now, but then you got Adoma on the other side offering that bit of width, and Elmo who offers the width as well. I just think Codger, if I had to pick Codger anywhere, I think I'd put him on the wing, because I don't think he does enough as a lone front man. I don't think he offers you the things that you need as a lone front man, but he's the one who I think's place is up in the air at the moment, because he's not going to dislodge Tamer. And then Balassi now, I think, has done enough to start. his productivity from he hasn't started a game yet, from the bench has been pretty good. He's got a few assists and a few goals now. At some point, he has to play, I think, and I think it might be against Birmingham.
I had a little premonition that Balassi is going to be a hero against Birmingham.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't know what that means or what
I mean,
form.
I'd say to the people listening and watching, don't put any money on Balassi to score against Birmingham.
Do you know what? In our, I do some NFL stuff for Odds Checker.
Do you?
We're about £500 up.
Oh yeah,
If you
bet
put-
just from betting.
Well, I don't put any money on because I'm a coward. But if you'd put 20 quid on every bet that we'd put on, you'd be 500 quid up.
Really?
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Has anyone done it?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think we should offer betting tips
No.
on the Villa View podcast.
Well, in the previews, it's like score and then first scorer,
It's
isn't
only
it?
when we've got a sponsor, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we only really hit that heavy when we've got a sponsor.
Yeah.
If you're interested in sponsoring the Villa View, then please let us know. And also, didn't enjoy the traffic this morning on the way into the podcast, so if anyone wants to give me a job in Birmingham, me and my wife would like to relocate, so if you give me a job.
Also, that
that'd be
means the
great.
podcast's over. So.
That is true. Might be a good thing for some people listening. They
Sure.
might give me a job on the basis that the podcast would end.
Also, it should be noted that Dan could walk to work in the same time that it takes you to drive.
That is true.
So, save the world, maybe.
Wasn't sure about the weather.
Um,
I also have 3 bags. You can't walk with 3 bags. It's too many.
I used to. There's
There's a 1 bag limit for walking.
there's a huge Tesco here, and I used to do my weekly shop and take like a travelling. When I used to live next door to you,
Yeah.
essentially. I used to take my travelling rucksack and just fill that, and then have a couple of shopping bags. Man, that was a workout.
I know, but you were. No disrespect, you were a healthier guy back then. You used to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the gym situation is potential to change.
You
but we'll see.
said that
I
earlier on in the year, I think.
I did
believe.
3 active activities this week. Played football twice and went for a
Did
park
you?
run. My 4th consecutive park run, and I'm getting slower. How frustrating is
I'm
that?
pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work.
No, I know. I think the course is getting longer.
I should have a brief intermission from Villa. We didn't have because you haven't been back since the baby shower.
Oh
Since we
yeah,
had
sure.
Since we had.
How
the
did you
mixed
find
baby
it?
shower. I found it a strange event.
You enjoyed it,
If I'm
though?
being honest, I did enjoy it. I tell you what, I found most strange.
Right.
And people listening, I don't know whether they find this funny, but I just found it funny, was that they had a baby shower in this pub, and the pub was just decked out for Halloween.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a baby shower, and there's like skeletons and cobwebs.
Yeah.
Every pumpkins everywhere. I found that a bit strange.
The worst thing is we took a load of the Halloween decoration
do a good
down,
job.
and there were still tons that you just couldn't get down. Hannah was like, Hannah doesn't like Halloween. I'm not a huge Halloween
I'm
fan.
not bothered about it either.
But yeah, she was just like, because we'd had this meeting and we were struggling for a place that wasn't really expensive or that would let us do our own food and all this kind of stuff. Anyway,
Food was good.
the
A lovely
logistics-
spread.
Yeah, it was a good spread,
lovely
wasn't
spread.
it?
Yeah. We won't dwell on this too long for people who are switched off.
But yeah, anyway, we couldn't get anywhere that wasn't Halloween based.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you to the Alma Tavern in Croydon
Yeah.
for sorting that out.
It was good. Always a pleasure to see your mother and father.
I noticed
Always
my
a
mum got a
pleasure.
shout out when I wasn't here.
Because she listened. We know she listens.
I don't know if she does listen
Oh,
when I'm
doesn't
not.
she?
She's
Oh, well, she won't listen when you're not there, I wouldn't think.
yeah, exactly. But you mentioned her last week,
yeah,
so
that's
maybe
true.
she'll go back and listen. But hopefully not. She always says that I don't give her any updates on life, so she finds out what I'm doing and what Hannah's doing through the podcast.
I can tell you what, Catherine, he needs a haircut. Absolutely desperate.
I do. I think I'll go get one
Get on
today.
the blower to him and tell him to get his haircut.
Spoke yesterday.
Uh,
So Dad's had a toothache.
Has he? Your dad, when I walked in, well, it wasn't when I walked in, it wasn't the first thing he said to me.
Punched you,
But
wasn't
your dad was said to someone that I was a lovely boy.
Oh.
And I was like, really? And I was like, who's told you that?
He doesn't
And
listen,
he was,
though.
like, he was like, that's what my wife tells me.
Oh, right.
I'm a lovely boy.
Ah.
My mum thinks you're a lovely boy. Does not think I'm a lovely boy.
And doesn't like Chris Dolan's hair as well.
Doesn't like Chris Dolan's hair. Who does?
There you go.
There we go. Back to Villa.
Let's go back to Villa a second. Jezza Tokyo. I just want to go back to that.
Is he from Tokyo?
I don't know. I'd like to know that. Jezza, if you are from Tokyo, that expands our
Doesn't
our
matter.
map,
I don't think
doesn't
we
it?
had anyone from there before.
He just said, is Elmo underrated? The link-up play with the Doma was outstanding and changed the game when he was on. Just to go back to kind of what we said pre-baby shower.
Yeah, I think he's not. He's one of those players that's not as bad as some fans make out. Okay, he knocks some crosses into the north stand.
Oh my
But
goodness!
as I
he
said,
does.
I can't remember if I said this last week. I think I did. Elmo against QPR did one of the worst crosses I've ever seen. Straight into the QPR stand,
But Lassie did one as well.
and then everyone's hammering them.
Yeah.
Alan Hutton does it at Villa Park. And he gets his name.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's just funny.
He's the
He is
greatest.
funny. That is. That does some Villa fans to a T.
That QPR trip feels a long, long time ago. Obviously, I haven't been on the podcast since, but it just feels like a world ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That we were in that kind of transition phase and playing 3 games in 6 days.
We are still in transition.
Well, of course we are.
We'll lose games.
That was a tough. It was a tough start for Dean Smith. Not in terms of the quality of opponents necessarily, although QPR were on a great run, but 3 games in 6 days, coming off an international break where you haven't had that much time with your players. It was a baptism of fire a little, wasn't it?
I don't think it's a coincidence in the last 2 games, Bolton and Derby, he's had a whole week of training leading up to those games, and you could certainly see the difference from what I saw on Saturday.
Well, just talking about that briefly, Pascal says, is this a bad time for the international break? And Dan Kiernan, the last international break was much needed. Is this the worst possible time?
Always when you win a couple of games. It's all about momentum, isn't it, in the Championship? So you want another game as soon as possible. But players going away and playing for their country is obviously a big thing, things that most would enjoy, I would think. So I don't think it's an absolute disaster, but the Championship is all about momentum. But we'll come back for that Blues game, and confidence isn't going to have disappeared, is it? It's going to still be pretty high because we've won 2 on the bounce leading up to it. I mean, I think Dolan said this was the first time he's been worried about that game. About the Blues game for a long time.
That can't be true.
No, it can't be.
Again, Dolan tweeted just before Derby, concerned, or something like that.
I didn't say that.
Just like he does that every game.
I know what he means though, in terms of they were in better form than they've ever been leading up to a Derby, and I think they're still on a pretty good run, aren't they? I know they didn't win at the weekend and they lost the week before,
just below us,
but they're on a good run now, still in Birmingham terms.
Yeah,
leading into the Derby, and I think it would just be one of those special days at Villa Park again. I'm not going to sit here and say 100% that Villa are going to win. Obviously, I don't know that, but I'm confident going into that game. I just think under that atmosphere, the players will absolutely thrive.
Balassi premonition.
That's he will play.
That's what I'm going to tweet just before the game. 2 words: Balassi premonition.
And half of Twitter won't know what you're talking about.
I mean, most of Twitter won't care. Let's talk a little bit about the wasted chances, because a few people on Twitter are saying, is Codger too wasteful? Should Tammy Abraham be scoring more or converting more chances? And a couple of people, Brett Leader, asked for a bit of an analysis on accuracy and stuff. I think he sent that about 7 hours ago, and I was asleep all of those hours. So I will try and have a look. I'm not promising anything. And
I looked at that and thought it was very complicated. I won't be doing it.
If I can find a website that does it, I will regurgitate that information as my own. But Tammy Abraham...
I wasn't sure the reverb was
already checked it. Tammy Abraham does have a lot of chances, which is great that Villa are creating chances. Always good. What does that worry you at all?
No, because we still scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
You will miss chances in football matches. If we scored every chance that we ever made, we'd win every week.
Yes.
We'd be the best team in the world. It just doesn't happen, does it? You miss chances. Abraham's missed more recently than I would have expected from him, because I think in general he's a pretty clinical finisher. But the good thing is that he's missed chances and he's come back for more, and he scored. He scored an important goal, that all-important second goal, which again, when we went 1-0 up in games under Bruce, you think we need a second or we need a third, because this could turn cagey. Smith said his mantra is just to carry on attacking, and when we did that, and not many teams, if any, will go to Derby and win that well.
Yeah,
season. It's a big statement.
It was Niall Simpson who asked, is Codger too wasteful and should he be dropped? And Hot Diggity D, also Big D, said about the playing natural wingers and that creates a space for the midfield. Those two kind of go hand in hand, don't they? And I guess if Balassi is fit, then Codger just kind of does get edged out a little bit, because you can't play everyone.
Over Codger and Doma at the moment, for me, I'd take Codger out. Adoma's not exactly been prolific.
You take Codger out?
Out of the two, if I had to choose one to take out of Balassi, it would be Codger, because I think Adoma does the defensive side better than Codger, and I think that's also an important thing in the Smith machine. It's an important cog that the wingers get back, and they defend, and Codger, he's getting better at it, but he doesn't always switch on.
You mentioned the Bronx hats. I'm thinking T-shirts with the Smith machine on.
Smith machine.
I quite like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
If you can design that.
I mean, if somebody can design it for me,
That's all right,
that'd be
probably,
great.
yeah.
I'm very busy at the moment, aren't
I
I?
mean, you've got a baby on the way.
Any time now.
I mean, when's it due again? Yeah, I do know. It's the end of November.
Oh, goodness.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It is coming.
Like Christmas, it is coming. A lot of praise for John McGinn. There was a fair few tweets on that, so I just want to go back to McGinn and go through a couple of these. The Meatball Man, yeah.
I'm sure that's his one of his nicknames.
And I saw the video. I think it was the Villa Report put it out. The crowd singing "We've got John McGinn." Not the words, but
I know the song.
some kind of
I'm
words
aware
in
of
there.
the song.
That just sounded absolutely awesome at the end. I thought it was brilliant.
I've been to a lot of the recent away games, and of course the best one is the one I'm not at. I also went to Derby last year and we were pants.
And you also mooted the fact that we could potentially go as a little away day to Derby.
Everyone ignored me.
Yeah.
We could have gone. We could have gone. That's we wouldn't have won 3-0 if we'd have gone. We'd have lost 4-1.
Yeah.
Like the Sheffield United video.
But yeah, that I felt...
We do need to do another one of those in all seriousness, though.
Even just watching that video on social media kind of just made me go, oh, yes, this feels so much better. And, I mean, last year was good, and I don't want to... There was a lot of fun moments of last season, but it feels like we're building.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we did win a lot of games last season, but you kind of... obviously, I was an advocate of Bruce, obviously wrongly, but never felt the same as this because you knew it wasn't a long-term thing still. You were just purely focused on let's get up. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, we might have struggled. Had we gone up with Bruce, I think we probably would have struggled. You feel like if we go up under Smith, we'll be better for it, if that makes sense. This feels more sustainable. Well,
that's a question that came in, and I don't have it in front of me, I don't think. Who of the current crop do you think would make the leap? Do you think most of the team that are playing now, the younger players, let's discount
this
the
is taking back to
Yedinaks,
last season when we asked this question every single week.
Yeah. But do you think, discounting Jedinak, Whelans, the kind of guys that would definitely go, the Tammy Abrahams, is he?
Oh yeah.
Do you think he's ready? Because I mean, he's played in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing in a bad team. But last season, you're always going to struggle playing in a bad team.
But that then lends itself to the rest of the question: would this Villa team be a good team in the Premier League? Premier League's weird now because there seems to be two leagues essentially. It's the top 8 and then the rest.
Yeah.
Would Villa be kind of nearer the top of the rest?
It's difficult to say. I think
considering we're 11th in the Championship, I don't want that to come across as an arrogant thing to say.
No, you look at Saturday, and you think this team would probably do better than last season's team now. But then we had some good players last season. Obviously Terry, Snodgrass is doing
Johnston.
Well. Yeah, Johnston as well. Snodgrass is doing well. Yeah. West Ham playing central midfield, which I didn't think I'd ever see. It's difficult to say. Ask me at the end of the season.
Okay, all right, Bruce. Yeah. Judge me at the end of the season. Villa mad.
You're not going to get anyone in to do this podcast better than me, Tom.
Yeah, that's true. This podcast will be there or thereabouts. Can we keep hold of McGinn in January if he keeps up his current form? I would say yes. Yeah. Somebody responded to Villa Mad as well, saying yes, but maybe the end of the season it might be a little bit more tricky. I don't think so. I think John McGinn is already becoming part of the fabric of the integral Villa team, essentially, and I think he feels that. He obviously feels the love from the fans. Do you see the heat map? Was it against Bolton, the John McGinn heat map?
Was that true?
I mean, Villa tweeted saying this is absolutely true.
That doesn't mean it's true.
No, it's true, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Villa say a lot of things.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, it was wicked. Anyway, the Villa McGinn is feeling the love of the club. Literally full circle, right? The fans, the manager, the players, everybody seems to absolutely love it. I can't see him going anywhere anytime quickly.
He certainly won't go in January.
Yeah.
Certainly won't go. But as the signings go, 2.5 million, that is a great signing.
Enzo Bedingfield, has there ever been a more value for money signing than McGinn? Matt Collins says best pound for pound signing since.
I mean, Gareth Barry didn't cost very much, did he? Just a little bit of compensation from Brighton, so you'd have to say the years of service he gave, and he's the best player I've seen for Villa.
Are we talking just wages because I mean John Terry was obviously a free.
Yeah, you can't have someone who was there for one season as being the.
John McGinn's been there for 8 games.
Massive money, Terry. I'm not having that.
Yeah.
I think you go a long way to beat the value for money that Gareth Barry gave Villa. Like John Carew straight swap for Barros was a pretty good swap.
How much was Southgate?
Southgate, it's all relative, isn't it? Because it would have cost about the same as McGinn.
Yeah.
Probably about 2.5, 3 million, but
that was a lot more.
It's a different time.
Yeah.
I think he's a very good signer. I think he was possibly out of contract at the end of the season. That's why he was so cheap. But he's really, really endeared himself to the fans. I've got to admit, I wasn't seeing quite what all Villa fans were seeing with McGinn when he first came in. I thought his first couple of games he was very good, and then I felt he looked a bit tired, a bit jaded. I think since Smith's come in, I think he's been phenomenal.
We said that he worked really hard, but he was chasing every ball, and that wasn't necessarily.
Feels more controlled now.
Exactly.
What he's doing now feels a bit more controlled. I mean, Smith's first game, he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how good he was in that game. So he's popping up with a goal, getting in the box, which again we wouldn't have seen previously. McGinn on the end of a cross because he would have been on the halfway line. That's
actually something I wanted to highlight for all our goals, obviously apart from Connor's on Saturday, so the 2 goals were crosses, nice crosses, obviously from the wings, and there were people in the box. You know, when we're at QPR or Sheffield United, we're lamenting the fact that we're attacking, but we've got no centrepiece. And not only do you have Tammy Abraham, but you've got Grealish or McGinn or another winger, Elmo or whoever, coming in from the other side. We've got 3 or 4 players in the box. I mean, it's not tactical genius, that.
No,
it's so simple. More players in the box, more chance you have to get a shot on target. So that was really nice to see.
It's good as well. Players are doing different things. Last week, Jack got a goal, and an assist. This week, McGinn's got a goal and an assist.
And he was fouled for the free kick as well.
It just shows that we knew that ability was there, that the players were capable of more, and now we're starting to see it.
Last one on McGinn, Gig Sharma. Is McGinn the new Milner? Still early.
There's some similarities.
Yeah.
Certainly some similarities. I'd say they're different types of players, but they both work very hard, similar build, aren't they, as well? So, yeah, it's not a bad shout. Not a bad comparison.
We shall see. Is there anything else you want to talk about, particularly from the Derby game?
No, I mean, just we spoke about the clean sheet at the start. It's just nice to see. I was trying to think. I think that's probably our best away result in Championship in terms of quality of opposition. I don't remember us going to a team like Derby, a team that were riding high and hitting them for 3. We hit Burton for 4 last season, but that was Burton.
Yeah.
That might be one of our best results in the Championship, maybe bar the Wolves game. I'm trying to think of the last time we put in a performance like that away from home against good opposition, and I can't think of anyone.
Do you want to hear what Dean Smith said after the game? He said to West Midlands, I said it was a...
to West Midlands?
To BBC West
whole
Midlands.
Of the West Midlands.
Well, yeah, essentially. That's what radio service is for, Dan. I said today was an opportunity to draw a line in the sand about what we can be, and they've certainly done that, but their standards are up now, and... this is where we want them to stay. It gives everybody a boost. I said I wanted a team that was hungry and showed desire to go and create chances, and we did that. Certainly did.
Yeah, really did.
And he came out onto the pitch as well, didn't he? Did you see the pictures of Smith? And just, again, endearing himself to the fans. The comparisons with Bruce are just chalk and cheese, aren't they, at this point? Obviously, Bruce was at the end of his tenure, and this is an exciting time for Smith, so it's not directly comparable, but it does feel really refreshing.
Yeah. Our good friend Kevan texted me last night and made a valid point. He said that result makes you less worried about the December fixtures, because we've looked at December previously and thought, ooh, some tough games in there, but the fact that we can go to Derby, who were riding high, doing very, very well under Lampard. I mean, hearing Lampard talk about us after the game when was the last time an opposition manager spoke about us like that? It's really, really great to hear, but it does make you less worried about the tougher games, knowing that they're capable of going somewhere like that, and psychologically for the players now as well, knowing they've gone to Derby and won 3-0, when then next time, Middlesbrough at the start of December, they'll think, well, we can go there and put on a display and put on a dominant show.
Sure.
So it's great.
Yeah, I think we've said that, haven't we? How important it was for Smith to find his feet in November, where we've got a few winnable fixtures, and this Derby game was arguably the toughest of them all. Obviously, the Birmingham Derby is different, but he has done that, and yeah, it's exciting. And December are the games that we should be winning if we want to be competing with the likes of Norwich, which I never thought I'd say.
They're flying, aren't they?
Full respect to Farke and what he's doing there, but they are absolutely flying.
Don't talk too much about Norwich because you'll upset Rolinson.
Why?
Because he started a Football Manager 19 save with Norwich, and he started well. He was absolutely flying, and now he's been sacked. Sent me the screenshot of Rolinson sacked last night. He got the vote of confidence and didn't meet the points targets.
Can I ask a gamer question?
Yeah.
What does it mean when you say started a save?
Like a game. Started a season. Started a career.
Oh, right. Okay, so just normal.
He got the sack, basically.
Wow, after how long? Do we know?
I mean, he runs through a season very, very fast compared to me. I spend a lot of time on what I'm doing.
How long does it take you to do a season generally?
I don't know. Put it this way, Rollo's probably at near the end of that first season. I think I'm 12 games in on my side.
And when did it come out?
2 weeks ago.
Right. Wow, okay, you do take a while.
Actually, not even 2 weeks ago. I think it came out first week of November, a week ago, just over a week ago.
Okay, that's not so bad. I used to like it when, like, we're talking 2001, 2002.
A long time ago since you came.
It was Championship Manager when I was playing, where you could do like 4 or 5 games.
You could blast it out
in a session, and you'd always be like, oh, one more game, and then it was like 2 a.m. when you had to go to school.
Yeah, there's too much to do in the week now.
Obviously, not go to school at 2 a.m. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it got pretty late.
I mean, I've got to be honest. Championship/Football Manager completely ruined my university.
Did it?
No studying was done. I messed up.
I don't know if I don't think my mum knows this. Like my AS level results, she knows this, were really bad, and it didn't look like I was going to go to uni. And I basically
can't imagine you not working hard at school.
I'd worked really hard. I just couldn't get it. I just wouldn't go through. I just couldn't answer the questions, but I knew the answers, just couldn't answer the questions. Anyway,
you knew the answers but couldn't answer the questions. It goes down to one of the sillier things you've said in the podcast.
If we were having
that makes sense.
If we were having a conversation about mitochondria, I could tell you all about its structure. And
you couldn't write that down.
But I just couldn't write it down in the way that I'm not a big fan of exams.
No.
And the exam answers and the way to answer questions was just not my forte.
I was the opposite. It was decent at exams, terrible at having to do coursework.
Coursework I loved.
Coursework was cheating, I thought.
Oh, so good. Because you could work on it, you could take time. Maybe under pressure. It was under the pressure that.
Yeah, that's what you need. You have to have the pressure of the exam situation.
Anyway, I got terrible AS level results. Banned Football Manager from my life.
Really?
Worked super hard. I was proper focused in my A2 year, and yeah, got to uni. So there you go.
Absolute opposite. I absolutely smashed my AS levels, and then that put me into the state of mind that I did, because I'd done no work.
Yeah.
That put me in the state of mind that I didn't need to work hard for my A levels, and I completely flunked.
Oh, really?
the A levels.
I went to one of the best sixth form colleges in the country, and like the standard, seriously, the standard was here. I think it was the best state sixth form in the country, so the standard was up here. I was like the bottom rung of people in that, but like wanted to work so hard. 2 B's and a C in the end.
That's
so,
you know. The Ofsted segment of the podcast is now over. It really has been all over the place. But
38 minutes.
But it is 8:35 a.m. at the time of filming. Which may explain a few things.
Let's look at the championship table, unless you got anything else on Derby.
No, I'm just really happy.
Norwich City, after a dramatic 4-3 win this weekend against Millwall.
The goals in that game.
They have won 5 on the bounce, and they're top by 2 points over Middlesbrough, where Villa play. At the start of December, Leeds, Sheffield United, West Brom and Derby make up the playoff picture, and Villa in 11th at the moment, just above Birmingham on the same points, 24 points.
The league's madness.
Yeah, 4 points off playoffs at the moment. So, I mean, in a couple of weeks, the Derby game is absolutely huge, not just for bragging rights, but actual positions, which it hasn't really been for a little while.
10 points separating 15th to 2nd is pretty ludicrous.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Every time I look at the championship table, there's someone near the top that I didn't realise were doing so well. So Forest in 7th, I didn't realise they were up there. I say, well, when we did the predictions, I said Blackburn might be an outside shout for playoffs.
I feel like you've said that about everyone. You're just I said them. Yeah, I said them.
I do, because I think my predictions this year are not going to be far away.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Good luck to you.
You, Mr. Stoke.
Stoke are about to make their charge.
Because we're playing them.
Yeah, that's true. I think I had Nottingham Forest and Leeds up there as well, but I'm not really sure. I can't really remember, to be honest.
I tell you, none of us had Norwich up there.
No, absolutely not. Stephen Deakin, realistic target for the season?
Promotion. Every day of the week, whether it be automatics or playoffs, the aim, and Smith said the same thing as soon as he came in, the aim at Villa has to be promotion.
Ben says, was that a statement win? Is top 2 a realistic target? Annoying time for the international break.
I think top 2 is a realistic target. I still think that would be very, very difficult. If you'd have had Smith for the whole season and he'd had a whole pre-season, then perhaps.
Ask us in December, I think.
If we have a good December, we'll put ourselves right amongst it because we're playing a lot of the teams.
Exactly. They drop the points.
They're up there. The league is nuts. I mean, West Brom were near the top a few weeks ago, and then I looked at the table before they played, and they were like 10th, 11th. Like, it can all change within the space of a few weeks. It really can.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, ask in December, or you'll know in December. You don't need to ask, but that'll be a real gauge. Matt Collins, who should be fullback for the game against Blues? We'll do a pre-match game. I guess we'll do a pre-match pod and a pre-match for that one, because we've got the international break. Paul Bendixon, our Scandinavian reporter.
Is it Paul Bendixon?
No, we talked about this because it's spelt Paal, but it's he said it's pronounced Paul.
Did Simon O'Regan send in a message this week?
He sent in one saying that you guys couldn't get his name right.
I mean, it's very ambiguous spelling, I would suggest.
Paul Bendixon, can we sustain these performances and maintain the consistency? That's key, isn't it? A consistent quality performance. And Smith did it at Brentford, so I would kind of say, why not? We've got the players to.
Yeah, another panicker that texts Aston Radford. He texted me before Saturday saying Smith's away record is diabolical. I've been looking at it so bad at Brentford and Villa this season, and then obviously we go and win 3-0. It is the away form, because as I said before, I think we'll be very good at home. I think we were good at home last year, to be fair. I think we'll be very good at home under Smith, because I think teams will be scared. I mean, teams seem to be a bit scared of coming to Villa Park anyway in some ways, but I think now the football that we're going to try and play, I think teams won't enjoy coming to Villa Park. And there was a spell against Bolton where they just couldn't get the ball off us. Every time we made a chance, the ball came back to us and we just kept piling the pressure on. It's away from home where the questions would probably be asked, but if we could go to Derby and put on a show like that, we can go to most places. But I am wary of, just because of one game now, becoming extra confident, because the Villa way will be to shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah,
that's fair. Jam was the guy that asked about which players could make the step up. So thank you to Jam for that question. Got a couple of other random ones. Declan O'Donoghue. I was about to do that in an Irish accent then.
Do it. You might not be Irish though.
Declan O'Donoghue.
That's not bad.
Nah, thank you.
One of your better accents.
I'm quite good at accents.
Oh, yeah?
I'm better in that place, but then it just seems a bit.
What do you mean better in that place?
Like, so for example, if I go to Liverpool, my Scouse accent gets better.
Yeah.
I need to be embedded. My Scottish accent while I was at uni got really good.
My boss is Northern Irish. I can do a good impression of him.
Go on then.
Oh no, I can't do it now. You've put me under the pressure on the mic. Hi and I, Brian Carr.
Oh, I mean, that's dreadful, isn't it? Absolutely. And we'll get all the guys that tweet us
enjoy that
with the
accent.
clovers just going, that's disgusting.
Still a lot of clovers on the comments. A lot of clovers. Very suspicious.
Yeah, weird.
Suspicious activity.
It's like bots. Irish bots.
What's going on?
The under-23s beat Derby as well. Did you see this on Thursday night?
I think I started to see that we were playing and then completely lost track and didn't know what happened.
I only caught up with it after the event, but Aston Villa beat Derby 1-0 for the under-23s. Harvey Nibbs with another goal set up by Callum O'Hare as well, which is good. Good to see those players. And more to the point, there was John Terry, Richard O'Kelly and Neil Cutler in the stands.
That's pretty standard now.
Dean
to be fair, Bruce used to go to the under-23 game. He never used to use the under-23s, but he used to go to the games.
Yeah, exactly. Just being there. It's a night out. Take your missus.
We haven't used them. Smith hasn't used them yet either.
No.
We all thought perhaps people like O'Hare, Doyle, Hayes would come straight into the 18, and really they've been nowhere near it. So
Smith and Patach have been to every other game before, so. We'll see. You're right. That's probably well, it's definitely fair to say that Bruce did go, but good.
Yeah.
It's good to see that winning.
It's good to see Terry there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, John Terry looks like he has a good life.
Do you think?
I think I could come back as anyone, come back as John Terry.
Is he still living in London?
Yeah, but he was travelling in some. I don't even know what kind of vehicle it was. It's always just stuff that looks cool, John Terry.
What else do we want to talk about? The Christmas schedule. This has been a bone of contention.
The late change.
The late change.
It's completely done me over, but I made a rash statement to my mum the other day that they don't do championship games on a Sunday, Mum, so you don't need to worry.
Oh, no.
Then suddenly we get a game moved to a Sunday.
So if you haven't seen this, the Villa Leeds game is now Sunday the 23rd of December at 1:30 p.m. lunchtime.
It's not good for me. The wrath of the wife.
So what's happened? Talk us through your personal situation.
None of it's happened, but...
Have you made plans?
No. In some ways it suits me because I'm out on the Saturday night, so I haven't got to worry with coming back from the Villa and rushing and stuff. So for me it's quite good, but it delays me and Ange getting back to London, doesn't it? Because it being a Sunday kick-off, although I don't think we've got work the next day, so it's not a major issue. Feeding the rabbits, there's things going on, isn't it?
Work situations very much vary on Christmas Eve, don't they? Because it's not a bank holiday.
I believe I'm not working, but I better double-check that now you've said that.
Yeah, it's not a bank holiday, so, you know. Make sure
it's cancelled this year anyway because it's going to the in-laws.
The in-laws coming to us.
Are they?
Yeah, because we'll have a new one, won't we? So we're not
what about your mum and dad?
They're going to come down, but I'm not sure. That hasn't been my Christmas has always been quite flexible at home because my mum used to work nights for the NHS, so she'd be working. My sister's birthday is Christmas Eve. My other sister's birthday is 2nd of January. Like we just fit Christmas in where it fits.
I mean, my Christmases have always been when a Villa playing. That's what me and my dad base Christmas around. Always sad when there's no Boxing Day game at Villa Park. I like to go to Villa Park on Boxing Day, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It's obviously not going to happen this year. I can't remember who we're playing on Boxing Day, to be fair. We don't have it in front of us, do we?
No.
But yeah, moving games. I mean, we should be used to it by now, but it's a joke.
Well, like I can understand the schedule and that kind of thing, but I can't understand...
Why does it take that long?
Moving the game. So I think you should have your Christmas and New Year games absolutely set, and you don't flex them. You pick your game, and if it turns out that it's like 14th versus 17th, then that's unlucky for Sky.
I mean, they would have known Villa v Leeds has been on the telly both seasons we've been in the Championship, so they know already that they know before they've even looked at the fixtures that at some point Villa Leeds will be on the telly whenever those games are.
Last 4 times it's been broadcast.
I mean, we've got to be careful because of obviously where we're based, but it's stupid.
Yeah, it is a bit tough, and I think
it's annoying.
Sky would win
base flights and stuff around coming back.
Yeah, I saw one guy who was coming from the US.
They just leave it so late.
Oh, exactly. I think Sky would have a major win if they announced their Christmas games and their New Year games at the start of the season and just like, this is it. I
get it towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
So when teams, they might not know who's going to be in the relegation battle, who's going for fourth and things. But in general, like, so Liverpool are playing Man U. They know that's going to be on telly. Decide the slot you want it. Pick it early. If you like Villa v Leeds, they know that that's going to be on telly.
Well, Christmas is such a bone of contention anyway for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Just don't put football in there. Pick your game.
Well,
pick
no, I
your
like
time.
to have some football to watch.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, don't add that to the contention. Have football in there for sure, but just set it in September.
I mean, there's not been many games on the telly in the Championship on a Sunday throughout the whole season. I would argue there's maybe been 1, 2 max, and then we get moved to the Sunday, of course.
The renaming of Villa Park. You seen this?
Yeah, I've not seen too much on it. No,
I haven't either. Bahrain Gowrie asks about this. So there's sources close to the club, in inverted commas. I don't know who that is or what that is, mooting the idea. It was obviously talked about under Dr. Tony as well, and Wes Edens and Suarez have talked about the revenue streams and financial fair play, which I still don't get at this stage. But I know that renaming the club and selling the rights for that would contribute to financial fair play. So it's obviously a consideration. How does that sit with you?
If it helps the club, it will always be Villa Park. It'll just have a sponsor. Like, you're not going to go around calling it the sponsor's name. It'll always be Villa Park. So if it helps the club massively in some way, then okay, I guess you have to do it. But I get the traditional people that won't ever want to see that happen, and it would annoy a lot of people as well. I think the way football's going now, I think at some point it'll be the norm. Like, you won't have many clubs that don't have a sponsored ground. I mean, you got the teams like Man U who don't need to do it, but at some point I think it'll just be the norm anyway. So if it helps the club, then okay.
Yeah.
I'm not mad on it.
No,
but it is what it is.
I think I agree.
Football's changing.
Yeah, I think I agree. It would just be Villa Park still, wouldn't it? Like, where you I'm going up to Villa Park.
Look at the Premier League now. They've got this shirt sponsor on the front. You've got different sponsor on one.
Get one on the back
there. Sleeves now back in the Championship, although we've not that one on the head, which is losing a revenue stream. But never mind. And it's just all about money. It is all about money. It's becoming
the football shirt is becoming like a Formula One car, isn't it? Wherever you can get something on.
At some point, it'll be like that. That's what will happen.
Yeah, a walking billboard.
It's just one of those. Yeah, he's a walking billboard.
Learned about that in A-level PE. A lot of A-level chat
school
today.
talk.
Yeah, good. Yeah. 50 minutes in. There was a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about very briefly, but
I've got to go to work.
I know, we're running out of time.
I think you've got to mention that one there.
We'll definitely mention that one.
There you go, He's got his phone out for anyone who's listening via audio. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Well, this is it. I just read this morning. That's why I don't have any notes on it. And it does come from the Sun, so
completely write it off.
Make of that what you will. Clubs in Sky row. Leeds, Aston Villa and Derby among 15 Championship clubs at war with Football League over new TV deal. So apparently there's a new £119 million package that is being, again, mooted. And some of the bigger clubs don't feel like they are getting enough of the pie in terms of finances. So there's talk of a breakaway league. Now, I have absolutely no idea how that would work in the Championship, because it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
So I don't. This is an exclusive.
The Leeds owners been doing some stuff with this for a while now, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. They also have concerns about matches appearing on Red Button and the internet. I'm afraid that is another place where football's going. Football is social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all going massive, which is great for some, not so great for others. But that is the way that these things are happening. The breakaway idea of it just seems madness.
That bit's madness, but I get they're getting a bigger chunk. I mean, Villa and Leeds are on telly pretty much every single week, and haven't the Premier League top teams negotiate something where they get more money now in the Premier League?
Possibly.
So it would make sense that the bigger Championship teams that get shown more are going to want the same. But it's common sense.
But then how does that work?
I don't know.
Like, it must be based on where you finish in the league, surely, because Leeds couldn't demand it and then finish 14th or something.
If they're
like
on
that.
telly every week, then they've got every right
to
the biggest slice of the pie, I would suggest.
Then it has to be on... again, TV percentage, doesn't it? It couldn't be one team gets this.
Again, it would require some research. But if you looked at all the Championship teams that have been on telly so far this season, Villa and Leeds would be a higher percentage than everyone else.
Yeah,
they've got the bigger fan bases in the league.
There you go. If you've got more information on that, feel free to message. But I literally read that this morning and thought it was interesting. So before we go, it's very worthwhile highlighting the work of Dan Rolinson and James Rushton
and Dan Bardell.
And they've made a mini doc called "The Murder of Tommy Ball." And it's really interesting. It's about 8 minutes long. It's on YouTube, on the Villa View YouTube channel.
Good feedbacks thus far.
Yeah, something completely different from the Villa View. Just kind of investigating a little bit more a story that isn't that widely known.
I haven't asked my dad, but I don't know whether he's obviously supported Villa for 105 years. So go back and ask him whether he knew this story, but I was not aware of it at all.
Yeah, so
until Rollo told me about it.
There's interviews with Rob Bishop and Matt Kendrick, obviously, who are very knowledgeable of the club.
Lean.
Is he?
I thought so.
Right.
Yeah, last time I saw him, he was trundling around the football pitch, waddling around the football pitch. He looked a lot trimmer. Maybe that video was the catalyst.
So go and watch that if you're interested. And it's a good bit of footballing history and supporting the channel as well. So I don't know what else is in the pipeline. A few people have asked what's next.
Mate, we'd love to do loads of things, as you know, but unfortunately we all have real jobs.
Yeah.
We'd all love to be doing this kind of thing. for a living, and we try and maximise it and do the absolute best we can for something that is essentially a hobby. So again, if anyone wants to back us, pay my salary for a year, I'll quit my job and do the Villa View, and permanent, and do videos every day. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, we live in the real world where you don't always get what you want.
No, it's true.
Right. In general, I don't really like praising my friends too much, but I don't tend to have any trouble with praising Roller, because his work is unbelievable.
Well, you know he deserves it as well, doesn't he?
That's true. Maybe I just don't think that my other friends deserve praise.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks very much.
You were being kind, putting yourself in the friend bracket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I praised you twice today, I think, at least.
Have you?
Yeah. It was early.
I don't remember it.
No.
It feels like a long time ago, or since I got up this morning and started the podcast, and knowing I've got a long day of work ahead of me is pretty grim. But we've done it.
Yes.
We've made the decision. It was to get you back, to try and get you back, Tom. We had to do it early.
It feels nice to be back.
I've done it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No worries. You got anything else?
That's it from me.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we've got another podcast next week where not much is going to have happened, as it's an international break.
A few players playing internationally, so we'll take a look at those. We'll give a little bit of an update.
Yeah.
Baby update.
Should apologise for my terrible performance last week in trying to create a game and just getting it all wrong.
Shall I bring a game for next week?
Yeah, bring a game.
A new game. We're running out of squad numbers, and I've got it wrong so many times in recent memory.
You know what? I've always thought, what a loser. You can't even do a game properly. And then I've obviously gone and done one last week and messed it up and thought. And no credit to you for the notes, to be fair, because I had all day to write those notes last week, and I left it till the last second because I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's just not an enjoyable thing to do.
So you have given me credit.
Try and do notes. Well, it's backhanded. It's backhanded.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah. So apologies for that game last week, because that was incredibly poor. Thanks ever so much for watching or listening to this podcast. If you could give it a review, if you've listened via iTunes, give it a like on YouTube, and comment below with your thoughts on the win at the weekend and your thoughts on this podcast if you're feeling kind. If you're not already subscribed to the Villa View with your post notifications on via the YouTube medium, then if you could do that, that really, really helps the channel grow, and we appreciate all the support that you've given us. Check out that documentary from Dan, because it really is a very professional piece of work, and let us know what you thought of the voiceover artist. Personally, I thought it was a 10 out of 10.
If there's one area of improvement, maybe the voiceover.
I mean, to be fair, out of me, you and Dolan, I would say I'm probably the last person that should be doing a voiceover. But
you've got a Birmingham voice.
Rollo picks what he wants.
Yeah.
Picks what he knows.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. I presume you're here next week, unless baby comes, in which case we'll be drafting in Big Dolan,
yes,
if needs be. So yeah, thanks for listening to this. Always good when Villa have had a positive result, or even though it is ridiculous o'clock in the morning, we can still be happy. We'll be back with more videos, maybe this week, but definitely next week before the big one, the big Birmingham derby. Thanks for staying with us. Cheers. Bye.
Such a ramble.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.